This conference will now be recorded.
So just like to start with the definition. Salesforce CRM is a cloud-based CRM platform. So you can log in using user ID password with internet connection, right? And it helps to manage an organization's interactions with customer. Interactions in the sense, the whatever the data related to customers, the phone numbers, emails, whatever the activity you perform to to retain the customer, uh, in order to retain the relationship with customer and support your customers. So all the data you will manage in CRM application, and it is a package which with the help of the features you will able to manage the data, and it provides the platform to develop new application. It is a platform, right? It's not just a CRM software where you just store the data and manage it. You can also create a new application, which means it's a Salesforce providing a platform as a service. So what type of a platform? You'll have a declarative approach and programmatical approach, right? So you have declarative approach and programmatical approach, based on which you can create an applications. You can modify the existing applications, and it also provide features to integrate with other systems as well. Okay, so this is a very catchy diagram to understand the Salesforce ecosystem. Salesforce is a platform. They provide the standard applications, which means the pre-developed applications, and like Sales Cloud and Service Cloud. So those are pre-developed applications, and we have many more like Marketing Cloud, Analytical Cloud, etc. Okay, and you can also develop a new application which are considered as custom applications, and they also have a app exchange, which is a marketing place like your Play Store in Android, uh, you know Apple app Store in your iPhone, where you can download the pre-integrated applications that support the respective OS, right? Similarly, App Exchange is where you can download the Salesforce integrated application. Okay, so just for uh, an information, we need not go much deep at this point. In addition to that, they also provide many different services as well. Right, so they have two different approach we have, right, in platform to create, to develop, to modify the existing applications, and we call them declarative approach, which involves only point and click. We don't need any programming to create any application. Without involving any program, we can create a table, we can create a column into the table, we can set up email notification, we can create a report. Okay, so suppose I would like to know how many products the customer has bought, and I would like to list out the list of customers that are onboarded in the last 1 year, and how many opportunities I got, how many issues we have with respect for every customers. So you can create a report without doing any, without involving any programming, right? So, and with help of programming languages, you can also develop an applications like interfaces, and you can write more complex process automation logic with help of programmatical approach. Okay, and how you are going to access the Salesforce platform? It's a subscription model, right? So they provide different editions. They provide Okay, I'm audible.
Yeah, Ranjit.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
Ranjit.
yeah. In between, I just seem like the audio is lost. Right. So they provide a different types of uh, is package. You can say edition. In general, we call it as editions. Like in GoToMeeting, right now I am connecting only one host can conduct the meeting, and maximum 250 participants can join. If two hosts need to conduct meeting, then I have to go with the higher end edition, right? Which means editions are nothing but a set of features grouped to meet a business need. So what is the business need here? Sales Cloud. So Sales Cloud basically used to help an organization to manage sales activities, like selling a product, no marketing the product, and and track the customers sales. It helps uh, to manage the sales activities. So for this objective we have different types of editions. When you go with when you start with first basic edition, suppose your business is very less customer database, and we have very less scope for users to connect in the application, then we can start with essential edition. But when you log in, when you subscribe for essential edition, then you will not have enough features like email notifications, reporting features. So those will not available in your the basic editions like essential and professional. So we have to go with enterprise, so which cost you $140. So likewise we have different types of edition for a particular business need. Likewise they have a different editions for service cloud. Service cloud is like a ticket handling system for existing customers. How we are going to support? So they have different editions for service cloud. For a marketing cloud, they have different editions, right? So edition is nothing but set of features grouped to meet a business need. So all these editions, you can only subscribe for a trial period, isn't it? With we can only use it for 15 and maximum 30 days, right? Then how we are going to connect for our for learning purpose, to explore the product, explore the platform, we have to go for developer edition. So developer edition is a free version. You can sign up, and you just have to fill up this form and submit. You will see, you will get a verification link, so that you can reset your password, which doesn't have any expiry. Okay, so you can even you can register for a number of developer editions with even with the same email ID. You can also register more than one login also. But only thing is, the username that you are going to select should be unique, like your the Gmail, right? Which cannot be duplicated across all users in the Gmail account, right? So likewise, you can create uh, your own unique email ID. So I hope you register. Some of you register already. Let me show you how to register. So developer.salesforce.com is a URL. So this is a place where you can get a lot of documentations about Salesforce, self-learning modules, and it has uh, a place where you can interact with other community users, and every details you will find it in this URL. Okay, so I will guide you later because you'll see now. When you see here, there are a lot of informations. So what information would be right enough to start with, that I can guide you later. So now you need to sign up for developer edition. Okay, so mostly the new candidate who are trying to very new to Salesforce, they would go here and subscribe for the product. If you go to Salesforce site and go to the pricing, and I go to Sales Cloud, And most of you, some of you, might subscribe here. Then you subscribe here and do some changes in your org, in your environment, and finally you will see like after 30 days it will go off, right? So don't do that. Make sure you load the developer.salesforce.com URL and click on sign up option here. Okay, so there you have to just fill up some basic details and give the valid email ID, because the user ID and further communications, right, going forward from your edition will be will be to this email. Okay, and choose some role here and choose some arbitrary company name, any company name, because it's just going for learning purpose only, right? And you have to choose the username that should be in the form of email ID, which means like you'll have some qualifier here before at, isn't it? And you have to sign me up. You have to click sign me up. So as you sign up for your Gmail, right? It's like the general sign up process. It will send an email to your email, whatever email ID you given, and you have to click on that email. So basically, you receive email from developer@salesforce.com. Then you have to verify the account. So this is how we are going to register for developer edition. The developer edition is a free edition. Then you have to reset your password. Set your password. And some security questions. Later if you forget your password, remember this. It will help you to reset your password later. Okay. So once you sign up, I mean, once you set up your password, it will log into the Salesforce platform, and you will be log into the Lightning Experience interface. I told you, right? There are two interfaces we have. We have Classic and Lightning. So the database is a common database, but you have two interfaces. So Classic is the old interface, but still we are Salesforce is supporting that interface. And since 2014, Lightning Experience, we have been the Salesforce introduced in the year 2014, and which is used to log into the application from any device you have. It can be a desktop or mobile or tab, whatever. Okay, so when you sign up, it will take you to the Lightning Experience interface. So you can see it in the URL, Lightning, and this is nothing but when you register in the developer edition, I have chosen the country India, so Asian Pacific region. So in the data center managed by Salesforce, so my account has been dynamically allocated. So there is no functional difference here. So whatever country you choose, the space storage will be allocated for you. That's it. Okay, so I am into Lightning Experience interface, and you'll see at the top right side few icons, right? There is a profile icon, and where you can see logout option. Okay, where you can see the logout option, and below that you'll see switch to Salesforce Classic, right? So when you click on this, what will happen? You'll see it will switch to the Classic interface. Got me? So now I'm into Lightning interface. So I can switch to Classic. So this is your Classic interface, right? And again, if you like to switch back to your Lightning, then you have switch to Lightning Experience option here. Got me? So the interface what you have seen Lightning is basically you might, you will experience later, the interface, navigation, everything will look like, how do you navigate something in your mobile, right? Like, how do you navigate something in your mobile, like a, like a touch screen type of interface, right? Whereas in the classic, which is an old interface, you will see it's more, like a desktop type of application, right? And here the logout option is below your name, whatever the name you given when you register, and you can log out. So when you log in back to your application, then you have to use your URL, use the URL called login.salesforce.com, right? So now going forward, you're going to log in with this URL. You have to follow this. So now I just log in back. So when you log in back, from which interface you logged out, the same interface you log in back. That's it. Okay, let me move on to the next slide. So this is the so normally I don't run this slide, but for okay, I think I'm done with this slide. Let me take you to the okay. So here, so next we'll see a few important the resource what you have in Salesforce to know anytime reference for anything to learn inside the Salesforce platform. So that's what you're going to see now. I just give some information about help help place, help URL in the Salesforce, and what do you mean, what is the setup menu, and few terminologies, basic terminologies in Salesforce, right? So go back here. So the interface in the classic interface, I'm just start with the classic interface. Later I will just move on to lightning, and we'll explain the similar whatever we are going to discuss, how it is going to be appear in your lightning experience. Only the look and feel, most of the features look and feel will be different, and there are some functional difference are there. It means not every features are available in lightning that are available in classic, and vice versa, not me. So there are new features added in lightning experience, and there are some features which are available in classic but not there in lightning. But to get into that much detail, which is not mandatory now at this point, but right now we just see what are the terminologies here, what are the features here, and how the same features will be looking in your lightning experience. And if you see the drop down at the top right side, right, so each of these options are called applications. Each of these options we call it as applications. Sales cloud application, and this is my service cloud application, and marketing cloud application, right? So these are drop down which will show you the standard applications at this point. Standard application means what? The application which already there in the platform. They already developed some applications for users to access. So these are standard applications. And this this menu will also provide you option to launch the app launcher. I told you, right, app launcher is sorry, not app launcher, and I'd like to talk about app exchange. App exchange is a place where you can download the pre-integrated Salesforce application, like your Google Store, right, Play Store in your Android, right? So this is where you can find out, locate a free and pay applications. You can download directly from here and use it in your login. Okay, just for information. Later we can explore this, few a few more details we will see later, not at this point. So now I'll go back to the an application called sales, right? So when you select an application, you'll see there are few interfaces are appearing here, right, which will get changed. Sales, and if you go to service, then service related tabs are appearing. What does it mean? If suppose I have an application called training, then what are the functions I would perform related to training? It can be student inquiry, isn't it? And I may have an interface called student, right? I may have an interface called payment. So each of these interface is called tab. Each of these interfaces is called tab. So that's what you are seeing here. So if you take the sales application, then what are the functionalities what are the activities you will perform related to sales that are available in the form of tab here. So each of these interface is called tab. When you click on chatter tab, then it will take you to the inbuilt tool called chatter. So right, this is an inbuilt tool where you can use to interact with other users. So I just point that user and I send a message, then the user will get notified. Okay, you can interact with all the users within this login. This is not your social network. This is not your social news feed. This is just a a place where you can interact with other users in the login. Got me? And I have a campaign, lead, and account. These are all tabs which are nothing but interface to your table data, right? Suppose when a user click on student, then from the database I can see the data through this interface, right? So it's nothing but tab. So tab is we call it as user interface to see the table data, and table in Salesforce we call them object. So this is a terminology we'll use in Salesforce. The table in Salesforce we call object. So tab is nothing but to see that object data. So we don't need to run any query language, or no need to run any script here. You just click on a tab, you'll be able to see information from the table. So if you see here, I click on a contact, okay, contact information of customers. Then you'll see I can see the data from the table object automatically. Okay, so that's a feature we have in Salesforce. Without involving any coding, you can see the table data with the help of tab. And group of tab, you can say an application. What do you mean by application? A group of tab, a tab, or else you can say tabs are grouped together to perform certain business activity, to perform certain business need. Okay, it's called as tab. Tab is an interface to see object data. Right? And tab is not necessarily to see the object data. The tab is also can be like a tool, like a chatter tool, and tab can be a home tab, right? So where we'll have some common information like a calendars and meeting invite and all those details. Okay, so these things we'll explore later down the line. You will come to know what are the important what are the importance of a calendar and all those things. Not at this point. So let me reduce the font so that 1 minute. So the right side of your the classic interface, we call them application, and which provides you the standard applications, which also has a link to your app exchange, your developer community, etc. Okay, and here you can also create your custom application, which means suppose I like to create an application to manage my training activities. I like to create my applications related to financial activities. So I can create an application called finance. So that can be a custom application. Okay, and I can also add my own custom tab also here. So these are all standard tabs, which means a pre-built tab, right, which is already a part of the platform. But I can also create my own custom tab. I can place it here, I can arrange it here. So that's going to be a part of your admin activities that we'll learn later. Okay, and this is a generic URL, help.salesforce.com, where you can find more information about the product. So whatever you like to learn, even whatever you discuss now, right, application, tab, and object, right, whatever discussed now, you can see more details about those details in help.salesforce.com. help.salesforce.com. So when you go through something in Salesforce, and if you have any queries, then you can look at this URL and you can search in the search box at the top, and you will see no information, whatever you need, you may get it. So getting started with Salesforce. So what is Salesforce? Right? So every information you can get here. What is Salesforce editions? Right? What we discuss now, essential, professional, enterprise, and many more details you can get here. So okay, and tab is nothing but an interface to see object information in Salesforce, right? And object is nothing but the table. So table in Salesforce we refer as object. So object is where you store information in Salesforce organization. Okay, so you use this term organization, right? You note here, organization is nothing but your login. The login, the developer edition login, we also call it as organization. We may refer as developer org. Okay, a developer org, a short form org, or else organization or environment. So we use different terminology to refer the Salesforce login. Okay, so Salesforce is provided a lot of standard objects, right? Because it's a CRM platform, right? So it provides a set of tables where you can ready-made tables, right? So where you can store your data without creating any table, right? The table which will address the common business need, like a customer table, customer table we call it as account, contact, and where you can track all the issues, case table. Likewise, the Salesforce provided a built-in tables called standard objects, but we can also create your own custom objects. And these are some of the objects they have, and the purpose of the object. What is the purpose of the object? Account, to store company information. What is the purpose of contact? To store the people details, name, email. Okay, and lead is another object. Opportunity, campaign, case. Okay, so it's just an overview. Later we'll see more detail about each and every object. Okay, so this is just a basics of Salesforce platform. So we're just moving away. Later we'll see how to create a tab, how to create an object and all. Okay, and what the table will have? Table will have a column, right? Column and row, isn't it? And column in Salesforce terminology we call it as field. That means there are few terminologies you should be familiar. That's it. So when you going forward, when you frequently when you log in and familiar with the platform, then it will be habituated. So the column is in Salesforce platform, in object we call it as field. Suppose this is my table. This is my table, contact table, where I store information about an employees. Okay, first name, last name, title, phone, etc. And what are the fields here? I have fields: first name, last name, title, and all, isn't it? And how do you call each and every row in the Salesforce table? It means object. We call them as record. Not me. A column in table, a column in object we refer as field, and the row in object referred as record. Record is nothing but collection of field. Okay, we also refer it as Edward record, Tom record, Scott record, like that. Got me? So these are all called records. I hope I'm able to convey the things you are able to follow. Okay, so here,
Yes.
right. So here, I mentioned in the previous slide, right? We call the login, the developer edition login, any of the Salesforce login, we call it as organization. Okay, an organization is nothing but a deployment of Salesforce. Nothing but, you know, once you register, it means it's deployed, right? And I am the user in the Salesforce org. So the organization is nothing but a deployment of Salesforce that has defined set of licensed users. That's all. Okay. So what it's going to have? It's going to have a data, applications, and features, etc. So developer edition that you logged in is also is referred as organization. Or else in short form we call it as org. And release is nothing but this term is used to refer the upgrades. 3 times a year the upgrades are happening. They name the upgrades as winter release, spring release, and summer release, as per the season. Okay, so and so every year, 3 times a year, they upgrade the product, which is called as release. Like spring 20 with respect to year. Summer 20, winter 20. Next year it will go like a summer 21, winter 21, like that. And Salesforce is a term used to refer the company as well as a product. Okay, and I think before we get into this detail, let me talk about a setup menu, right? So I mentioned like it's a platform, right? It's a platform where you can modify the existing application. Which means, suppose I like to add additional custom tab in my, already there are some few tabs are there, right? I would like to add my custom tab. Then I would like to create my own table object. So what I can do, I need some tools to create a table, right? I need some features to modify the application. So where I can look at those features under setup menu. Right. So here we'll see, once I click on setup menu, you'll see a list of options on the left side, right? Like a different sections: administer section, build, deploy, monitor, jobs, and logs. So these are the sections, available under setup menu, right? So all the options, related options, are grouped under particular section. Suppose you take a administer section. So this is where you can add new users. This is where you can add a permission for the users, and you can set up the security features for the users. So everything you will control under administer section. When you come down, the build section, and this is where you can use to create object. You got me? Object and tab, applications. So that section is named as build. Okay, if you like to develop an interface, a form, to enter to get the customer details, for example, then I can create my own form with help of Salesforce pages. So that is available under develop. So all those related options to modify, to create, that's available under build section. And deploy, basically to do the deployment from one org to another org. And monitor, you'll see something you need to monitor. Something is running, some job is submitted and it's running, and how to monitor this, monitor and jobs and logs and all. So these are the different sections we have. Okay, so down the line you will learn what are the important links, what are the important places where you will where you will monitor, where you will build and all. You'll see later. right? So this is about your setup menu. Okay, we'll have a quick look in Lightning experience as well. What are the features we discussed now? Like, what are the features we discussed? Application, tab, setup menu, isn't it? And what is object, and all those things we'll see it in Lightning experience interface. Okay, I'll go back to the Lightning experience. Go back to Lightning experience. In Lightning experience, you don't see a right side drop down, right? You don't see an application as form of drop down. Instead, in Lightning experience, you'll see there is a symbol like a tile symbol, right? It's called app launcher. What do you call that? App launcher. When you click on this, it will show you a list of applications, that you have seen at the top right side in Classic. But you can't see all the applications that are available there. There are some applications will not be available here. There are some difference between your Classic and Lightning. Okay, that need time to understand later. We need to take time later, not at this point. When you click on View All, then it will open a app launcher displaying all the applications over here. What are the available applications? Got me? So here, if I locate sales, so whatever we have navigated in Classic at the top right side, so here I just go to my app launcher and locate here. If you have more applications here, you can search here as well. Dynamically it will filter the matching applications, and click over here. Right, so you'll see some similarities, right? So you will see tabs are arranged in the horizontal. Okay, it's called tab panel, right? So tabs are arranged in this order. The difference is the applications are available from the app launcher here. Okay, and in the home tab you'll see some differences, isn't it? And you click on a tab, you'll also see some differences here, but we'll discuss these differences later. Got me? And what about setup menu? The setup menu is over here. You'll see a gear symbol, right? So when you keep a mouse over, you'll see a option like setup. Click on this, and then you have to click here. Okay, because they have different other options. So just click over here and click on here. Right. So you see here, whatever the option, the sections you have seen there, you will see different name and different. Even you may also see some additional section here, right? Because you'll see some features are additionally added here, which are not available over there. Got me? So there will be some differences here. Those differences you will you'll come to know later when you habituated with the platform. Okay, so suppose I like to locate the object, then you can locate here in the quick find box. Okay, it's called quick find box. Like in app launcher, we are able to set some application, right? So dynamically filtered, right? So if you type over here, it will be dynamically filtered. So I can go here and go to that particular option. Got me? Suppose I like to create a tab, then I being slow. Yeah, got me? Right? So you got the difference in the interface, the basic difference in the navigation. Okay, the application at the top right side here in the app launcher, and other things you'll see more or less same only. Got me? So I go back to Classic again. And can I stop here for a few minutes to know if you have any question? You have any question over here? Do you have any question? Or else I can proceed.
Yeah, nothing
How
from
about
my end.
okay. Priya's new joined today, right? Priya's able to follow the session.
No doubt, sir.
Okay. I already shared the yesterday's introduction video. So I think if you go through it, you will get maybe more clarity. Okay. So if you have not gone through it, go through it tomorrow before you join tomorrow.
Okay, sir.
Right. So okay, I'll just show you a few more additional information under tab. Okay, so we should learn about the purpose of the object and tab. This is not your object, this is not your table. Got me? So this is an interface to see table data. Okay, how do you call that? Tab. Each of these interface is called tab. Okay, and tab as the features. Tab has its own feature. What are the feature? Suppose I go to the contact, and if you see every tab I move, I will see similar type of information like some drop down, right? Contact, opportunity, some drop down, contact, some drop down. And this drop down is called list view. We call them as list view. Maybe I'll go to the paintbrush and explain it. So I have a table here in my database, like a student table, payment table, inquiries, okay, etc. I just take just one table now. I just take one table, and I have details like a student name, city, and phone numbers. Okay, so this is my student table. So I have information for thousands of students in my student object. How do you call table in Salesforce? Object. Okay, so I have a lot of information about the students from different cities. Then I would like to see the students that belong to city Chennai, right? So I have millions of data, but I like to see only the student details about Chennai, because I am the trainer, which I'm handling only the students who are enrolled from registered from belongs to city Chennai. So every time I'm like to see only the interested to see only the how many students there in the city Chennai. So what normally if you do, if you have to do to get any data from the table, we have to run a script, isn't it? You have to run a query language to get the data. But what is the inbuilt features we have in Salesforce? Below the tab, I have drop-down options here. With the help of drop-down options, I can just choose this and click go. You can see that data from the object automatically filtered, and now I can view the information for anytime reference. At any time I can see the data over here, right? So you have option here, edit, right? So how do you call this feature first? We call this feature as list view. Okay, so the tab has a feature, has a two types of feature. One is a list view, and another one is there's a new button over here. You click on a tab. So one is a drop-down option called a list view, which is used to see the object data for anytime reference. Got me? And another feature is basically there's a button called new, right? Using which I can insert a new row into the object. Okay, so before I get into this detail, let's go back to list view and explain you. further on this. So there is edit button here, right? So click on edit button. You can modify this list view, how it is basically created. So you have a filter by additional fields. What do you mean by field? A column in the object, column in the table, right? So there is no filter is applied because it's optional. So all the details of all the details and records from this object I'm able to see. Suppose I like to filter here. I can add a filter. And or else from the existing list view you can add a filter, or else I can create a new list view also. Suppose I like to see anytime I like to see like uh, a customer belongs to country USA. Then what I would like to do, I just go here, new view, I name it as USA contact, and I all the columns from the object will appear here, field from the object appear here. I say mailing country equals USA. And what are the columns you like to see?
Is that struck, Rajat? I don't see that.
All of
The
you?
screen frozen.
Everyone else? Everyone else? Others? Anuradha? Priya? Able to see my screen?
I'm able to see the contacts tab.
Yeah, but no other changes. You said something you're typing, or your screen is struck. That's what it's saying.
I typed something. You are not able to see the list view, new list view creation?
No, you can see only contacts.
Oh, yes. Even I am able to see at the preview at the right side. Hold on 1 minute. Okay. Right. I'll go back and explain again. I think now it's okay. So I'm in the contact tab. Okay. So I would like to see every time the contact that belongs to country US. Then what I'm going to do, I'm just creating one list view by going with this option, create new view. And I just give some name here. I come down. I have an additional field section, right? So there I just apply the filter condition, okay, on mailing city. So do not worry about what is mailing city, what and all those things. That is not the objective now. The objective is to know, like, there is a feature called a list view under tab. That's it. Okay. So later we'll come to know what are the fields available, what are the important fields. So wherever it makes scope, I would explain better. But right now I'm just trying to concentrate to explain the basic things in the tab. And I say USA. So when this mailing country is equals USA, and get the data and display what are the fields you like to see here. Now as you arrange here, right, you can also arrange like this and save. So this is nothing but visibility restriction. Okay. So when I choose this, then who will able to see the data? Only myself. I am the owner as per the I'm the owner because I am creating this list view. So only I can see. Now every additional users I'm going to add in my org, so those users can also see. Got me? We'll discuss about group and all later. Okay. So now I see like only there are two customers. There are two customers in my contact object, right? So I need not go for any queries to run to get the data from the object. So with the help of list view, I can refer the informations anytime under the tab. Got me? So the tab basically has two important features. One is a list view, another is a option to create a new record into the object, right? So click on new, and you'll see the fields are So this is like an interface, standard interface, isn't it? So we don't create this interface. These are all standard interface, inbuilt interface, available for the object, the standard object. So I say like here, I say UC.
Is it all mandatory fields or?
Yeah, exactly. So when you so when you see interface in Salesforce, right? It's there are some common uh, appearance you will see, format you will see. These are all called as label of the field. Okay, label of the field, which will only appear in the interface for a display purpose. Okay, and you will see a red bar, right? For this field, we don't see a red bar, which means this is optional, this is mandatory. So I can skip this field, but I cannot skip this. If I skip this, then I just save here, then you'll see the standard validation will trigger. Okay, the system will fire the standard validation, and some standard message will appear like this. So it's very common in every interface you see in a Salesforce platform. It's been a standard interface. Okay, standard interface. So and these buttons are basically available to standard buttons, which will perform an insert operation into the database. Okay, so I think we are going to see more detail about this later. Let's move on to next one. So the tab, list view, and option to enter the new record into the object. So that's a feature under the tab. Okay, so I just like to cover important details now. Then we can wind up the few important details about to start. To start with, I go to setup, and setup is where you will see all the options to work with your platform, isn't it? So as a developer, as an administrator, how we are going to work with your organization, right? In your login, right? As an administrator, you may need to add other users. As an administrator, you may create a new object, isn't it? As a developer, you may create a new Visual Force page or Apex classes, right? So where you can find all those options below the setup. So as administrator, you should know, you should most of the time you will work on this administrator section. So there is a manage user section, right? So here you can see what are the users are there in your org. What do you mean by org? Org is nothing but organization, right? Your login. Okay. So here you can see what are the users available in my org. So how many users are there? There are 4 users. Okay. So including me, myself. And these 3 users, which I haven't added, but those are added for a information purpose in developer edition. If you go for a pay edition, right? If you go for a pay edition like enterprise or unlimited, you don't see these users and all. In developer edition for information, you'll see chatter expert, user integration, and user security and all. Okay. Similarly, if you go to your any of the tab in developer edition, you'll also see some data, right? Data here. I haven't uploaded this data. These are all just a test data. Even if you register yourself, you will see all these similar type of name, account name, title, everything, just for a reference. What type of data you can store in contact object, what type of data you can store in opportunity object, right? So that's what we are seeing is test data here. Similarly, in user, we'll see some no additional users other than you. Okay, right. So okay, so I just if wherever you see the hand symbol, right, you can perform something, isn't it? You can perform some activity. So I can click on here. I click. It will take you to the detail page. Got me? It will take you to the detail page. There are two terminologies in Salesforce. Okay, one is with respect to the record. So there are detail record, and edit record, or else I would say detail page and edit page. Got me? So I am in the detail page of an user record. I am in the detail page of I'm in the edit page of the user record. Okay, and these are all mandatory information. Got me? Just to give a terminology, right? So user detail, and below the user detail, you will see there are some additional sections. Okay, and all these sections are related to this detail, right? Suppose I have a student details, and I will see the the fee paid by the student. I will see what are the course enrolled by the student. All those details you will see under like a section, and these sections we normally refer it as related list. For me, so below every main detail record, I would see a different section, right? So each of these sections we call it as related list, right? Got me? So just a terminology. Okay, so here in user page, so what are details I have? I have a not every details may be important, but there are few details are very important to understand. First thing is user license, and next to that profile. So user license and profile, are two important field in your user page. So how did I register myself? I just came from developer.salesforce.com and sign up, right? I just entered the details in the sign up screen and registered myself. So as I am the user, the first user registered into developer edition, I became a system administrator automatically. Got me? Which means I have high privilege to work with the application platform. Myself, I can add other user into my auth. I can deactivate other user. I will have a more privilege. Okay, so how the access and permissions are determined, what type of activity I can perform, that is going to be determined by this profile. Got me? And what are the features available to me, that is going to be determined by the license, user license. Okay, so user license says what are the features available to this user. So whatever user license you are assigned to the user, that decides what are the features are available. So what is the license assigned to me now? Salesforce license. Salesforce license says the user will able to access every features in the CRM platform. Whatever the features, the Salesforce has defined for to manage CRM applications, you will be able to access if you assign with the Salesforce license. Certainly. So what are the license we have in like that? We no need to list out all the licenses, but some of the important licenses. Like a Salesforce license, Salesforce platform license, Chatterfree license. Okay, so myself, I'm assigned with the Salesforce license. Then I can access every standard objects in my organization and all the custom objects In addition to that, I can access different process automations. Every features in the platform is available to me because I'm assigned with a Salesforce license. Salesforce license decides what are the features are available to the users, and every user must be assigned with one user license. Got me? So what about Sam? Suppose there is another user assigned with the Salesforce platform user. Then that user can only access account and contact object. The user cannot access a lead object. User cannot access opportunity object. Got me? So likewise, that license decides what are the features available. And if the user assigned a chatter free license, the user can only access a chatter feature, not object. None of the object will be available to the user, Bob. Okay, so license decides what are the feature available to the user. Able to follow this? Able to follow this? Okay, then what do you mean by profile? What do you mean by profile? Profile determines what are the permissions you will have on that particular feature. Suppose here if you take I'm able to access the account table. I'm able to access the account object, and your profile decides whether I can create a record into the object or I can only just see the record into the object. For me, so the profile determines the permissions, and user license determines the features are available to you. But in that feature, what are the permissions you will have? That is going to be determined by the profile. So profile is related to permission. This is related to the baseline of features. What are the baseline of features available to the user? Okay, so see here, the profile help determine record privileges. It means whether the user can see the data or edit the data. So what user can perform, that is going to be determined by the profile. Okay, so I just go to the users page, and you see here, right, there is a new user option. So here you can add users. Click new user. Okay, I just trying to add some user here. I say sorry, okay. Right, this is a username, and I just assigned him user license chatter free, right? And there are some standard profiles called chatter free. So what is this? This will define, this will give the this will list out the features available to the user. This determines what are the features available to the user, and this determines what are the permissions you will have on that feature. Got me? So I just assigned chatter free license to this user David and save. So what happens now? It will trigger a verification email to this email ID, right? Like, how did you sign up in your developer edition? So we are doing the same thing. As an administrator, I am going to add other users in my organization. Got me? So I save here. So what we did exactly, to verify the account and set your password, the same thing as David. As David, I am doing now. If it's not logged, I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm here to verify. So as David. Okay, so now the David is a chatter-free user, right? David is a chatter-free user. And what are the features available to user David now? He will just have access to the chatter tab. So whatever features available under chatter tab, like people, group, files, that's all, right? If you click on here, you'll see none of the applications are available, right? Even if you go to the classic, you'll see much more better. You go to classic. Yeah, you see, I don't see a drop down option also, right? There's no drop down option. So only that feature available to David is just chatter feature. That's all. Okay. So the license decides. I will go back to the system administrator login. So license decides what are the features available, and profile determines the permission. Okay. So we will continue tomorrow with much more detail. And before you wind up, I'll show you how I can share the notes for your reference. Okay. So I'll share it later, the user ID credential, so that you can log in and access the notes. So I'm going to share you. This is my okay. It takes your time. What I do, I will share the detailed notes for you reference, for you to reference. I will add one user in my org and provide the credential. So what you have to do, you have to go to the right side and I will create one custom application. So click on the custom application. You will see a tab called reference document or session document. Okay, click on it. You will see a table to see the whatever the information you have seen today, right? So you'll see in the form of PDF document you can preview from my Google Drive. So that information I'll provide you tomorrow morning, possible tonight or tomorrow first off I will share the notes. So on daily basis I will share those notes hereafter. Okay, fine.
Okay, Ranjit.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
that would be very detailed notes. Okay, so I'll send an email
Yes.
later.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay. Thanks, Ranjit.
thanks. Right, see you tomorrow. Take care.
Yeah. Bye.